Besides eating cereal with water, what is the most outrageous eating sin you have ever witnessed? My sister used to put ketchup on strawberries. A former friend of mine once poured a can of Coors Light into a bowl of Cheerios. He called it Beerius. A watermelon and ketchup sandwich. I call it a sandwich because it makes me sad. Saw a dude eat spaghetti in milk one time. One very dark time. One time, a long time ago, I ate Lucky Charms with Guinness as a St. Patrick's Day bastardization. I would not recommend. Kid I used to know in school used to rip open his milk carton and dip his burrito into the chocolate milk. Sometimes he'd even go so far as to rip open the burrito and pour his milk onto the beef and eggs to, I'm quoting him here, creamify the meat. I don't know man, but the word creamify is just ugh. Edit 1. Wow. Went to sleep with only 556 karma to my name. Woke up, and now I have 6.8k. Wow. You guys and girls are amazing. Thank you so much everyone. Edit 2. Fixed my grammar and random capitalization. I work at a pub/restaurant waiting tables. This couple walks in who I've never seen, but are apparently regulars. The bartender sees them, shoots me a glance, and goes to grab something from the kitchen. Before even taking their order, he's filled the crushed red pepper shaker and told me to take it over to them. The woman orders a small cup of French onion soup and proceeds to unscrew the cap of this shaker and dump the entirety of it onto her soup, an inch high off the top of her bowl. She's eating this spicy red pepper like cereal and didn't even ask for a drink refill. Fried eggs with chocolate, melted on the yolk. I had a friend who went through a period where cake decorating was her hobby, and she made some amazing looking cakes that all tasted horrible because of the bizarre flavor combinations. It was always a bit funny because people would compliment the look of them and then have to figure out how to throw their pieces away without being rude about it. The worst one was a Christmas cake with an immaculate looking fondant Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer that was an orange spice cake covered in mint icing. It was like brushing your teeth and rinsing with orange juice in cake form. Dude in my dining hall had a plate of sunny side up eggs. Scooped under an egg with his fork, brought it up to his mouth, and only touched his lips to the yolk. Proceeded to suck all the yolk, and then slurp the rest of the egg in. It was like a car crash. I couldn't look away, but I was horrified. Peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwich. My mom puts peanut butter on cold pizza. It is the closest flavor to vomit that is not vomit. I knew a guy who would bite into hot pockets in the middle, holding each end. WTF man. Ketchup on sushi. Shivers. When I visited my aunt's family as a kid, she served a purple cow milk mixed with grape juice for breakfast. If you haven't tasted that, take my word for it, it's not a great concoction. My dad's girlfriend puts cucumber in any hot dish she can. Green chili, chicken soup, taco meat, sky's the limit. She also doesn't believe in draining noodles and will let them sit in hot water until each strand of bloated spaghetti is as thick as a goddamn shoelace. I don't eat there anymore. My wife dips PBJs into spaghettius. My sister would make Ritz cracker sandwiches, except the thing that went between the two Ritz cracker buns was another Ritz cracker, except chewed up and spit out. It was disgusting. Dipping Oreos in orange juice. I used to be obsessed with A1. I would put it on everything possible because I loved it so much. One day I put it on Jello. I no longer enjoy A1. I watched a guy pour Sprite into a nice $50 bottle of wine because he didn't like the flavor. My Asian relatives eat shrimp with all the legs and stuff still on. Edit. About 8,000 people have commented that you can eat the head and legs on fried shrimp, and that's fine. But my family eats the entire thing. Poop vein, tail, head, shell, legs, regardless of cooking method or type of shrimp, and it sounds like hot wet toenails fighting in their mouths, and I hate it. Thank you. A couple of years ago when my best friend and I were still in college, she stayed over at mine a few times. It was then that I learned that she liked dipping cheese into hot chocolate, like full on dunking it in, waiting for it to partially melt, swirling it around, and then eating it. I love her to bits. She's like my kid sister, but I still haven't entirely recovered. Edit. From all these comments, I've learned that this is indeed a thing in some parts of the world. Cheers guys. I'm not sleeping tonight. Went to college with this one girl who would get a chef salad, slice up banana, and put it on said chef salad, then use ketchup as dressing. I shit you not, this person ate that on a regular basis. Edit. Wow, this blew up. Just now seeing this. I'll try and respond when I get a chance later. Mustard on cheesecake. Edit. Answering a few comments. It wasn't me, it was a friend. It was yellow mustard. Any kind of cheesecake. You can't compare it to mustard on a sandwich containing cheese. The flavor profiles of both are completely different. On top of that, cheesecake is a sweet, yes and somewhat tangy, dessert, whereas normal cheese is just tangy and all the other cheesy flavor profiles. The number of people that misread this as cheesesteak amuses me. Apparently this is normal in the Netherlands. My baby sister used to eat pancakes and ranch. My mom just accepted it because she was such a picky eater and this was something she just thoroughly enjoyed. We are pretty sure it's cause my mom craved both when she was pregnant with her. A ketchup brownie. My cousin, this son of a bee, eats cereal with orange juice instead of milk. The guy on 4chan who fermented a bottle of his own semen into liquor. My friend was eating salad with his hands at a restaurant. He's not my friend anymore. Edit. This may be hard to believe, but this same friend also eats spaghetti with his hands one by effing one without any sauce or cheese. I've never been to an Italian restaurant with him, so IDK if he does this in public. I'll live with someone who lives to eat food sins. Do you really think water with cereal is bad? Boy, the thing I would consider the least of eating sins would be when she microwaved a effing pickle with cheese on it, then dipped in effing ice cream. I can't stand to sit in the kitchen when she's in there because of the she made. If anyone is interested, I'll provide more horrid creations she made and ate, but all you really need to know is that effing pickle. I worked in a restaurant that served authentic imported Kobe beef. I had someone order a 16 ounces Kobe filet mignon. Well done. The chef nearly cried and definitely threw things. If I recall correctly, he ended up having to put that $200 steak into the microwave to get it to cook all the way through to well without burning the outside to charcoal. The guest was pleased and his date looked horrified. Can we stop putting ketchup on literally everything? Mixing ketchup with soda. Granted we were trying to gross each other out, but still. It was an act of culinary violence unlike anything else I've ever seen. I used to make cheese sandwiches with cinnamon raisin bread. I used to eat blueberries with ketchup on them because I like the texture. My whole sibling group eats tomatoes and peeled oranges / clementines like a normal person would eat an apple. But the worst I've ever seen is a guy in my class take a cheese and sauce filled roll type thing, rip a hole in the bottom and suck it dry in a restaurant with other people. Another time, my little sister, she was a tiny kid at the time, got gulab jamun at an Indian buffet. They're like milky donut holes soaked in watery sugary syrup. She leaned over the table and vacuumed them up off the plate so she didn't get her hands sticky. As a kid, we heard about cheeseburger pizza but with ketchup and mustard instead of tomato sauce, American cheese instead of mozzarella, and hamburger meat on top. So, we tried it. You wouldn't think it would be that different. The ingredients are the same as an actual hamburger, except pizza dough is actually very different from the bread of a hamburger bun. It's kind of sweeter and fluffier, and really soaks in the ketchup and mustard to an absolutely disgusting degree. It's awful. This is my own confession. I really love to eat lemons. Not in wedges or squeezed on things, but in the way you would eat an orange or a clementine, by peeling it and eating the whole thing. For some reason sourness is just the best to me. I'm a person of many weird food preferences, but this is the one that causes witnesses to cringe the most. My friend ran out of milk, so she thought she could possibly use coffee creamer instead. Eating a Kit Kat whole as opposed to individually tearing off the chocolate fingers. I'm not sure if this counts, but there is a guy at my uni who eats all his meals on his laptop keyboard. He sets his food on the keyboard and eats off of it. Makes me so uncomfortable.